Now, let's move back to Lei Hian. Maybe you can share with us what do you do as heading operations at Intervent?
Yes, so for our company, we are still very young company, and then our direction and milestone is set by our investors. So right now, our target is to launch our diagnostic tool as soon as maybe we wanted to launch end of this year, but because of COVID, maybe we want to launch next first half of next year. So by having a very firm milestone set, my operation work is really to make sure that everything runs smoothly. If there's firefighting, if want to solve a problem on the spot, I have to become the person. Even let's say a machine broke down, I have to become the person to fix the machine, and then to also to meet with different stakeholders. In the early stage of my career in this company, there's a lot of building relationship with other hospitals because our company started a clinical study in Malaysia, and then it involved 12 hospitals across Malaysia. So the early days is really to get to know people, persuade them to enroll patients for our clinical studies. And then as I go along in this company, I recruited different staff to help me. So then as I move up to the different rank, that is more towards planning stuff. So now I can very worry free to pass and delegate my previous operational job work to other team members, and then I can start thinking of and charting of the science direction in my company. So right now there's a lot of time meeting with different researchers, brainstorming for ideas of how we can use the same platform for different diseases as well. So, but I really like what Justin said just now, because as early stage company is a lot of firefighting. That just have to make sure things work, execute. And as a startup company, the only advantage we have is speed of execution. Resources we don't have much, and then in terms of human talent, we don't have much. So we don't have the amount of people that we would like a big corporation. So the only thing that we can do as quick as possible is execution speed. So that's my take.
Right. That's very interesting. Now, one common theme that is common across all three of our panelists today is that you have a technical background, a background in either science or engineering, but today you're actually doing something that's different from what you actually studied, whether a management role or a commercial role or an operational role. Share with us, how has your science degree helped you in your career path? Maybe let's start with Justin.
I didn't have a science degree though.
Or engineering, computer science.
I think whatever degree you have, it's more of a school of learning or schooling of thought, how you approach the situation, how you approach problems. I'm not using my Fourier transforms from engineering days. I'm certainly not using, I'm using a bit of statistics and stuff, but essentially what you learn in uni is to learn how to learn. And if you don't take away anything in the theory that you learn, at least you take away the skill set to learn how to learn. And of course, when you come to the real world, there's also the portion of networking and building relationships, right? And I think you do that a lot in uni, but kind of like when you go to work, that also becomes equally important. So I know I'm not really answering the question, how did my degree, a science degree, help me, but I'm coming more from a general perspective, because I believe the degree portion in this day and age, unless you're getting into a very technical type of role, let's say engineering type of role, then yes, your engineering degree plays a lot of importance. Or like if you're going into academia in biomolecular science, then of course your degree needs to be related. But if, let's say if you're going to start up, right, for all the person cares if you're a history major, but you can think analytically and you can solve problems, yeah, they'll take you on. So that's my take on it.
So learning to learn and using the opportunity to build networks. Right?
Yeah.
Lehen, you're working quite close to in an area quite close to what you actually studied. Maybe you can share with us, how your degree has sort of helped you in your career path.
I'm trying to lobby my company to do neuroscience disease, neurological disease using our platform, but it's not happening yet. So my company is very inclined to mass spectrometry technology. And then mass spectrometry technology is basically analyzing different proteins using that big, huge machine. When I joined the company, I didn't have that mass spec skill. So that's why they hire me as a generalist, as a first employee in Malaysia. But like what Justin says, right, it's all about problem solving. In startup company or in corporation, is how you can solve problem in front of you. And if I were to become a professor in a university and I want to publish paper, of course I need to have very in-depth knowledge of what I'm doing right now. But problem solving, right, is like it's basically if there's a pipe burst, then you have to fix a pipe. Can you fix it? If you don't know how to fix it, can you view some YouTube video to fix it? Something like that. So there's always people and free resources around you, and how you can tap onto those resources to solve your problem in front of you in terms of building the company. So my wish is really to hope that I can link more neuroscience with their neurological disease with my company's platform in future. It's not there yet, but I'm still working on it. So if that happens, then I need to wear my neuroscience cap again to see whether I can crack the code for Parkinson's disease.
So we wish you all the best. That will be good for humanity as well. Now, the job market today is getting more and more competitive, and like you guys mentioned, like apart from academic prowess, like there's increasing focus on digital skills, cognitive capabilities, as well as soft skills. In your mind, what are the top 3 skills to be developed as young graduates? And some of you might be in a position where you actually recruit people. So maybe let's start with Huishan. What do you see as the top 3 skills that you'd like to see in the young graduates that you recruit into your organizations?
I think maybe I wouldn't answer the question accurately as well. I wouldn't call it skills, but I've been interviewing people recently and have been interviewed myself as well. And from this experience, I think the top 3 things that usually we look for are, at least for me, number 1 is attitude, whether the person actually has good attitude and is willing to learn. I think the major and their background doesn't really matter as much, as long as this person is willing to learn and is eager to grow. I think that's the best attitude to have. Then secondly is, I would see if this person is a people's person and would be able to work with other people. That would really help us in solving a lot of problems, because then he or she would be able to talk to other teams, make things happen, make magic happen. At least from my role in Grab and my team in Grab, this is super important. Then thirdly, I can speak for at least 4 Grab basic business acumen and analytical skills are important, and I think that probably would be true for a lot of other companies as well.
Right. That's so basically basic business acumen, the ability to work with others, and great attitude. Right. Thanks for sharing, Huishan.
Huishan was gonna say like heart, humility, hunger. Which are the 4H in Grab, yeah.
Right. Maybe Justin, you go next and tell us like what are the top 3 things for you?
When I'm interviewing people?
Yeah. What do you look for in young graduates?
I was gonna say the 4H, but Actually, it's quite a good, if anything, it's actually quite a good guide. Like 4H being the hunger, meaning you want to see that this guy really, or this girl really is into the role, and how you judge that is whether they've done their homework, whether they've had something to say about the topics on hand, and things like that. And then the heart is like the passion in that industry or in that topic lah, I suppose. And then the humility. So you get a smart guy, but you don't want a jackass, right? He just like smart guy but step on everybody kind of thing. And then what's the other one? Honor. So yeah, so I mean, you get a smart guy, you get a guy who is humble, but if he's like a lone wolf, right? And he do things like maybe not so honest kind of thing, then you also don't want that, right? I know it's quite hard to gauge all that, but it's a good guide to have when looking at people and looking to hire people into your team, I suppose. Yeah.
All right. So that's thanks for sharing the 4H formula with us. Now, to the audience, like if you have any questions, feel free to just put it down on the chat, and maybe we can pose them to our panelists. Right. In the meantime, moving on to our next questions. So we talked about some of the things that recruiters might look out for in terms of young graduates, but what are the practical and actionable advice that you would give yourself when you were first entering into the job market? Would you be thinking about things like internships? How would you stand out in interviews? What's your job hunting strategies? What would you do to better prepare yourself as you approach the job market? Maybe Lei Hian, you want to share with us?
Yes, so when we were in San Francisco trying to find our job, right? San Francisco, the UCSF actually provide us a lot of training for interviews. And I only realized that how inadequate my corporate skills are, because in the lab, we don't need to have any communication. We just have to face our bacteria, our mice, put on treatment, then that's it. We only need to talk to mice and bacteria. But in a corporate world, I think communication is very important. So first of all, I need to know how to express myself clearly and eloquently, so that other people can understand what I want to try to say, or trying to propose to them or convince them. Secondly, I think that if I were to start early, I would continue to connect people on LinkedIn, because this is a really important skill set that I didn't know previously. LinkedIn is a very powerful tool to know people, and it's free. So what I did previously in San Francisco, even right now in Malaysia, I will just type in, let's say, Unimelb, KL, and I just click, and then there's a list of people that I just connect them, and I say, oh, hey, I'm alumni of Unimelb. I just want to get to know you during this MCO period. Would like to have a chat. So by talking to more people, then you understand their view. Then only you can discover what you really like in terms of passion. A lot of times when we were still young, right, we don't even know what we want. We just know that we need to find a job to sustain our life. But having their perspective, then people always wanted to help you as much as possible. When they hear what you might need, people might try to connect you with their friends. So from one person, then you can connect to the second degree of network. That is very helpful as well. And the third thing I think is very important is, once if you want to join a company, you have to understand the company, which stage of the company is going through right now. So let's say for my company is very early stage. Early stage company is almost like a cult. They want people to believe in a purpose, work our ass off for that purpose, and then hopefully that startup can grow within 5 years and then can further to sustain our business. But in a big corporation, they are very specific on skill sets. So early stage is purpose, later stage is skill set specific. So in later stage, they want people to have very skillful, in terms of one single item that they work. So that's the thing that I learned so far.